Amazing. So I am here with Kris. We just wrapped up 12 weeks of working together. And I'm so excited to really share this because I feel like you've been in my world for a while now. Like even before we worked together, there was a little bit of like DMing and stuff like that. So would really just love to hear from you what was going on when you decided that this would be a good time to work together and really develop your image.
Well, it's been really kind of an interesting journey for me. I was diagnosed with breast cancer, and I had to have a double mastectomy. And so going through that, is difficult, and your body changes, and you have a lot of questions about who you are and how you're going to be on the other side of it and all that. And so, knowing that my closet was in disarray, it felt like kind of a lifeline to be able to talk about how I presented myself and how my clothes looked and who I was. And so I just engaged, I just pulled the trigger. It is true. Melanie is very active on social media. She reaches out to just about everybody. I don't know how she has the energy for all of that kind of stuff, but it is really good. Even just watching what she's doing on LinkedIn and Instagram and seeing that come up in my feed over and over again, just clicking follow and seeing that kind of thing, and then scouring the internet and finding her YouTube videos just like this one.
I love that. Okay, so before I forgot to ask you to tell us who you are and where you're from, because that
How funny.
have this conversation. But the most important part is like, where are you in the world, and like, what amazing goodness do you bring to?
I'm Kris Hilburn Williams, and I live currently in Roanoke, Texas. It's a suburb of Fort Worth. After 20 years in downtown, nearly downtown Dallas, so it's a little bit more quiet out this way. And I'm currently the CEO of an association that serves emergency medicine trainees.
Amazing. So that gives some context to this type of things that you have to show up for. And then would love to hear like what do you feel was one of those really big ahas that you had throughout doing this work together?
There were a lot of ahas, and I really think that this whole process has been a little like therapy. Not like psychoanalysis therapy, but like feel good therapy, where you go and you get a group of women together and you get to hear their struggles, and it makes you feel less alone and less, we all struggle with our image, how we look, how we project ourselves, and that sort of thing. So it's really important to me. It was important to me to make the connections that I made, even. There are people that I learned from. The other aha moment was when Melanie color typed me as a summer. I had always been working under the premise that I was a winter. And we talked about how high contrast is sometimes good for a fair-skinned, redheaded person and not.
Yeah. What do you feel like that sort of did that alleviate something or to connect the dots? Like what was finding out that information? What did that do for you?
It just kind of helped me understand that I could widen my color palette a little bit. Um, even some pinks and reds that I had never been wearing because, a redhead is not supposed to wear pink and she's not supposed to wear red and all those kinds of things. You're supposed to be in autumn if you're a redhead. And orange and yellow and some greens look really bad on me. And um, so I learned the difference between I knew the difference between warm and cool colors, but that the summer just opened up that palette a little bit more, so I wasn't just reaching towards like real true purples and real true greens and blues. Um, I was reaching for something that's maybe a little more soft, a little less high contrast.
Yeah. And what do you feel like now is possible for you when you get dressed or have to you travel for work? Like what kind of is the experience that happens for you?
I think that the process of taking photos of yourself in your clothes helps you understand what you need to put in your suitcase and what you don't need to put in your suitcase and how you can get that taken care of a little bit easier. Um, you know, I think that that has been the most helpful thing was learning that if I took a picture of myself, I could be more objective. I could step away from that, the blue light in the dressing room or the okay, that girl has on this and it looks kind of okay. And, that helped me understand the proportions of my body a little bit better and what made my legs look long and what made my waist actually be a waist rather than feeling like I was just straight up and down, all of those kinds of things. And so it just made me think differently. That kind of took I don't know what it took out of it. It just took something away from it. It took subjectivity away, I think, and maybe made it more objective.
Yeah, I think that as highly analytical women, we're always so like rule, rule, rule. And that sort of like what you were saying is like the redhead's not supposed to wear this. There's a lot of like things that have been thrown at us, but like, and then we were operating in a vacuum as
Hmm.
opposed to like, let's custom make this for you. Let's
Yeah.
for you and being able to like pull some levers when things were going on as opposed to feeling like there's all of this information and I really don't even know what side is up and what side is down.
Yeah, absolutely. And so, yeah, I was going to say something and the train left the station. Uh, um, it it has also been eye-opening the colors that I can wear, like the reds and the wine colors and the cranberries, the colors that have true blue in them. That's been amazing to me that's opened up my color palette so much.
Do you
And
feel, sorry, what was I? I just got to go. Okay.
no, go ahead.
Feel like now because of that your wardrobe now has more versatility in it, or do you feel like it's more about the message that your clothing saying? Like, what do you feel like all of this color knowledge has actually tangibly done for you?
Well, as you know, my closet is really thin. And so it's thin probably because I didn't have that broad scope look at things. And so this has kind of put me in a position where I need to make more decisions about what really does look good on me. And this course helped give me some parameters so that I could do that. Like it helped me with my body type. It helped me with selecting the right colors. It helped me with objectifying what I'm looking at when I see clothes on my body. And it helped me with all of those types of things that were really just kind of nebulous ideas that were out there, not really internalized and that sort of thing. So that's what I really think is the key here is my wardrobe is light. I have to kind of start over. And I mean, we discovered things like the rise of a pair of pants helps me feel comfortable in them. We decided that the fabric content is really, really important to me. We decided all of these kinds of things. And after we record this, I'm going to have to go back and listen to it like a million times because, um, what I'm saying here is really what I learned and how it helped me.
I love that. Yeah. And kind of having some things to hold on to and what to look for. Cause I feel like we all say shopping's so hard and it's because you're literally looking for a needle in the haystack. It's actually giving you the GPS of what you're looking for. And,
Right.
and what is something that you could just bless and release and make that actually doesn't matter, but I've made it mean something.
Uh-huh.
What,
Exactly.
what would you say to someone who's like on the fence and someone who's like circling the drain or the airport being like, should I do this? Should I not do this? Like, what would you say to that person?
I'd say pull the trigger. I'd say do it because I operate under this principle a lot. and I tell my team and everybody else that this is the truth. This is truth. Time is not a renewable resource. However, money is.
Hmm.
You don't have time as an executive to spend a lot of time thinking about and learning about what you're going to wear. That needs to be a decision that is made, done, and dusted so that you can be more effective in your life. You don't have time, and time is not going to renew itself. So, all that time you spend trying on and taking off and putting on clothes every morning is not a renewable resource. You've lost that time. You've screwed up your day. You've you've kind of like flatlined on that kind of thing. So money is a renewable resource and you can get more money, but you cannot get more time. So consider the cost of that and versus the cost of learning how to dress yourself. And I think it'll be better for you.
I love that so much. Yeah. We spend a lot of time in indecision.
Mm.
Indecision is a decision.
Yeah.
Any other things that you want to share?
No, I think that's it. I really have enjoyed this. I really enjoy getting to know the other women in your classes, and they're just all a great bunch of people trying to, be their best selves. And so I think this is a great opportunity.
Amazing. So one quick question. Um, I know that a lot of people go in this with a hesitation of it being in a community setting. You probably thought that as well. I know I go into things with that. What are your feelings about it being done with other women?
I think it's validating in a lot of ways. It validates how how you feel. I mean, to know that there are other talented successful women who are also struggling with how they um, approach their wardrobe and their person. Um, is kind of like solidarity, right? You kind of feel like you're together with people, and I feel like I learned just as much from listening to what you were saying to the other people as I did from what you said to me and the videos that you recorded for me and all that kind of stuff. I feel like we all learned together, and it's not like a classroom where you're in a bunch of people, you're singled out and you get your time to talk and you get your time to present your issues and your challenges. And so I think that that's good for us to realize that we're not alone.
Mm. And I love that because one of the things I know to be true that I do, I'm not saying you do it or anyone else does it, is when I know that I'm in a coaching situation and I'm getting coached, there's a little bit of like a, what do you mean I'm perfect? There's like there's a wall that almost we put up. But when someone else is getting coached, you're like cheering for them and you want them to have the result. So it's almost like your ears are open a little bit wider because you're not being defensive. So
Yeah,
when other people are getting coached, sometimes we actually get more from it than when we're
yeah,
ourselves.
yeah, absolutely. I agree with that.
I love that. Well, thank you so much for your time. It's been a pleasure getting to know you. Sure, so
Same.
many people will benefit from hearing this.
Okay, thank you.
Welcome.